August 19th, 2000. That was the day Shumirai was born. It was also the day Jonasi's company, J&J Holdings, went from a private to public company with a riotous listing on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. The stock was oversubscribed 10 times. That's what you call good fortune. I watched the short snippet on ZBC from my hospital bed. Jonasi was beside me and beside himself with joy. Even though I was drowsy from the anesthetic, I clung to my glass of orange juice against his tall glass of champagne in celebration. "We are rich, Josie. We are fucking rich," he exclaimed. He kissed me over and over again. "I love you, Josie. You've done it again." "No, sweetie," I replied. "You've done it again." I had no comprehension of just how rich we had become until, when I was discharged from hospital, there was a gleaming gold Mercedes C-Class parked outside with a big pink ribbon on the bonnet. Jonasi declared it was mine. It had personalized number plates, Joy 001. I had laughed so much I was almost scared my stitches would come undone. He drove me while I sat in the back seat, cradling Shumi in my lap. I was further promoted to a house in the hills in the posh suburb of Glen Lawn. Jonasi declared that with our newfound status, we could still not be hanging around in the suburbs of Barrowdale. When I was implanted in a towering mansion in the exclusive Folijon Crescent, I had no doubt in my mind that we had arrived. In between nursing my new baby, I was working with 3 interior designers from South Africa to get the house looking like Jonasi's personal kingdom. I literally threw myself into the world of drapes, cushions, and Iranian carpets, mulled about the merits and demerits of Indonesian furniture versus Brazilian. This was my career, to be Jonasi's wife, lover, and mother of his children. The best job in the world. With perks like these, who could complain? When Shumi turned 1, I threw him a huge birthday party out in the beautifully groomed gardens surrounding our home. If I can say so, it was one party many mothers wanted to get crushed. I hired a jumping castle, a clown to entertain the kids, and had a horse too for the older children who wanted to be taken for a ride around our palatial home's garden. The mothers drank red wine and gossiped all afternoon. The only thing that marred that day was Jonasi's glaring absence when Shumi was coaxed to blow out his lone candle. Jonasi had been in attendance at all our children's birthdays. I had pictures to show for it. Now I tried to mask my discontent as I was pictured alone with my son. After the brouhaha of singing happy birthday had died down, I went inside the house and called him again. His number was still unavailable. I exhaled deeply. He had left that morning to go play golf. I had reminded him not to be late for Shumi's birthday party. At the time, he said he would not miss it for the world. And now it was 4 p.m. and he was still not back. "Hey baby, I hope you are all right. We had to blow out the candles without you because it was getting late. Mwah, I love you." I hung up and rejoined the party outside. It was starting to get rather chilly, so I decided it was time to wrap up things. By 6 p.m. the house was deserted and the gardeners were cleaning up the mess. I was upstairs giving Shumi a bath and Rudo was my able assistant. She was a sweet, pliable 13-year-old on the verge of puberty. In the family TV lounge on the same floor, I could hear Tino fighting with Gary over the remote control. I knew Tino had won the fight when I heard Gary break out into a loud wail. He came into my bedroom crying. "Mommy!" he wailed. "Tino won't let me watch my cartoons." "Sweetie, let him watch the TV. Remember, he doesn't get to watch TV at school." "He should get back to school. I hate it when Tino is around." At 16, Tino was a gangly, pimpled teenager beset by mood swings. Garikai, who was 8 years younger, irritated the hell out of him. "Do you want to help me wash the baby?" I asked. "No," he replied. "That's girl stuff. I'm going to watch TV with Tino." I lifted Shumi out of the water. I cooed at him lovingly and he cooed back. He had really enjoyed himself today. My darling little Shumi. After he was dressed, I plunged him onto my nipple. He suckled greedily. Shumi fell asleep on my breast. He had been tired from the day's festivities. Children were lovely at this age. They did not throw tantrums, whine, or fight. They were just bliss. I put him to sleep in his cot bed and went to supervise dinner. Even though I had 2 full-time maids, Jonasi still insisted I cook his supper. That night, as I cooked, my eyes were transfixed on the driveway, hoping his Mercedes ML will come speeding into view. The children ate and went to bed and he was still not home. I fell asleep and was woken up by Shumi's screams for his midnight feed. Then I called him again. He was still unreachable. Now I was worried. It was unlike Jonasi to come home after midnight on a weekend. He could go drinking, but he always knew to come home before midnight because my shop closed at 10 p.m. And after that he knew he could not get any until we opened for trading at 6 a.m. the next morning. It was our little joke. If I was having my period, I would whisper in his ear and say, "Joyce General Dealer is closed for the holidays. Trading will resume in a week." Then after I had given birth, he would turn to me and say, "Trading at Joyce General Dealers will be suspended until further notice." We had our own little thing going. After 16 years of marriage, how could we possibly not? My heart constricted then at the thought of ever losing him. I reached for my cell phone and called him again. This time, he answered. "I am on my way," he replied in a clipped voice. Relief washed over me. I hung up, feeling slightly appeased. At least he was all right. The last thing I wanted was to lose him. I loved Jonasi with every nerve in my body. By the time he got home, I had already put Shumi back to bed and was eagerly waiting up in bed for him. Many women say they tire of having sex with their husbands. I didn't. I wanted to ride my man, ride him into the sunset. I craved Jonasi like he was a drug. He still did it for me, in every way. "Sorry, I missed out on the party," he declared as he walked through the door. He threw a huge gift-wrapped box onto the bed. "What happened, Jonah?" He held up his hands in resignation. It's a long story. Where's my boy?" "Sleeping," I replied. "I'll see him in the morning," he replied, climbing into bed. He gave me a hurried kiss and turned away from me. I curled into him, pressing my back into him. The scent of his body filled my nostrils, the mark of another woman imprinted on him. "I am tired, Joyce." I turned away from him. The perfume now permeated my own body and almost choked my insides. The tears rolled down my cheeks. I bit down on my tongue to stop myself from crying out loud. I know you might think I am naive, but I had never ever questioned my husband's fidelity. I promise you, it's something that never crossed my mind. Jonasi had never given me any reason to think he would ever cheat on me. Until that night. I woke up in the morning and wore a sunny smile and told myself everything was going to be all right. I got dressed and made sure the kids were ready for church. When we left, Jonasi was still sleeping. Every Sunday was the same in our home. I took the kids to church and Jonasi would recover from his Saturday night hangover. When we came home, we would have a family braai. Sunday was our day. However, when I came home from church and did not find Jonasi's car lodged in the driveway, my insides lurched. I knew then that everything was wrong. So very wrong. He had left a note to say he had to rush to work and would make it up to me. I crunched up that note and threw it against the wall. That afternoon, I held the braai tongs and burned the meat and the boerewors while the children splashed around the pool, making a loud noise. I drank too much and got so inebriated. Then I started laughing at everything so much that I cried. At some point, I passed out and it was Jonasi who woke me up. He was shouting at me. At first I could not hear him, then slowly his words became audible. Irresponsible! How can you get drunk when you are nursing? Shumi's been crying his lungs out and you couldn't hear him. You heard him. Why didn't you quiet him? He's your son too. You are his mother, he shouted back. It's your responsibility. I stood up and like a zombie walked towards Shumi's cradle. His bum was soaking wet. He just needed a nappy change. Why didn't you change him, Jonah? The nappies are in your face, I shouted back. You didn't want to get your hands dirty. No, that's Joyce's job, isn't it? Shut up, Joyce. You're drunk. Shut up, Joyce. You're drunk. I mimicked after him. He glared at me, annoyed more than ever. I started to laugh. He looked so serious. Why was he so serious? It's late, I said. Where are you coming from? Work? Somebody has to make the money around here. You think if I didn't go to work, you'd be living in this house or driving that Mac? No, Joyce. You'll be out on the streets, crawling on your fat ass. I looked at my ass. Had it become fat? I thought he liked my fat ass. I'm going to sleep in the spare bedroom, he said. I'm not in the mood for your shit. He walked off. He slammed the door behind him. My heart thumped. I crawled into bed with Shumi. I cried. Shumi woke up and started crying. We both cried until we fell asleep. When the tears start pouring down, you know shit has hit the fan. I knew then that this was the beginning of the end.